Guys, happy Saturday. Today's state of the heart is confidence. And the card says, confidence is the inner belief that you have the strength to face challenges. It's about trusting yourself and your abilities. When this card appears, it encourages you to take action, knowing you can overcome any obstacle. So it's about trusting yourself, trusting what you've already survived. It's knowing that even if your knees shake, your voice cracks, your stomach flips, and your hair is doing something criminal like mine today, you can still show up. Confidence does not mean that you never doubt yourself. Confidence means doubt can ride in the car, but it does not get to touch the steering wheel. Babes, that right there is where a lot of people get confused with confidence, because some days confidence comes in loud. I know, some days I wake up and I feel that Madonna energy in my bloodstream, like my ancestors braided courage into my bones overnight. Like God himself said, go ahead, own this moment, girl. I already opened the door for you. And then there are those other days, Oh, those days confidence is missing like one sock in the dryer. You're looking everywhere for it. Under the bed, in your purse, in your notes app, in the refrigerator for no reason. Sorry, I keep getting interruptions. Like, did I leave my confidence next to the shredded cheese? Where's it at? Because confidence, it's not always a mood. Sometimes confidence, it's a decision. Sometimes confidence is not feeling powerful at all, but still choosing not to betray yourself. Sometimes confidence is saying, I'm scared, but I'm not going to let fear boss me around like it pays rent here. And when we say confidence is trusting what you have already survived, that goes deep. Because sometimes when you have survived a lot of trauma, you become strangely confident in situations where other people would completely freak out. Not because you are fearless, not because you're cold, and not because nothing affects you, but because your nervous system, it's already sat through storms that other people cannot even imagine. Sometimes trauma, it teaches you how to function in chaos. Now, is that always healthy? No. Let's be honest. Sometimes what people call strength, it's really a trauma response with a good worth ethic. And sometimes being the calm one, the fixer, the rescuer, the one who jumps in, the one who knows what to do, the one who can handle hard things. It comes from having to survive things you should never had to survive in the first place. But still, it becomes part of you. You learn how to walk into tension. You learn how to read a room. You learn how to feel danger before it speaks. You learn how to stay steady when everything around you is loud, emotional, unpredictable, or falling apart. And that kind of confidence, that's different. That's not cute confidence. That's not new outfit, fresh lipstick, let me walk into Target like the Lord's favorite niece confidence. That is survival confidence. That is battlefield confidence. That is, I have been through hell before, so I know how to keep my feet under me when the room starts shaking. And when I think about that, my time as a caseworker at Child Protective Services, that job, it was pretty scary in the beginning. People do not always understand the kind of courage it takes to walk into someone else's home during one of the worst moments of their life. Because there are a lot of things that people will kill for. There aren't, but people will kill for their children. And when you're walking into a situation where people feel threatened, scared, judged, cornered, or like their whole family is about to be ripped apart, you have to understand the weight of that. You're not walking into some neat little file folder. You're walking into real lives, real pain, real fear, real trauma, real parents, real babies, real survival. And I always try to see people as human beings first, because I'm no better than them. I am no better than them. We are all human beings trying to survive the cards life handed us, the wounds we inherited, the choices we made, the choices made around us, and the system we got tangled into. And some situations, pretty unhealthy. Some situations were unsafe. And some people, they did not realize how bad things had become, because dysfunction, it can start feeling normal when it's all that you've known. Sometimes people are living inside a burning house and calling it warmth because nobody ever showed them what peace feels like. So when someone comes in and says, hey, this is not safe, of course, they may not see it as help at first. They may see you as a threat. And that is just another layer of confidence. Because confidence is not believing in yourself when everyone likes you. Confidence, get down. Confidence is staying grounded when someone misunderstands your presence. Confidence is being able to walk into the room where people may not trust you yet and still lead with respect. Not ego. Not authority for the sake of authority. And not walking in like, I know everything and you know nothing. No. Real confidence walks with humility. Real confidence says, I have a job to do, but I see your humanity. And real confidence says, I may have to make a hard decision, but I don't have to dehumanize you while making them. And real confidence says, I can stand firm and I can still have compassion. That's powerful. Because when people see you as a threat, especially young mothers and fathers who are scared and defensive and trying to protect what they love, it takes time for them to feel safe with you. First, the walls are up. The fear is loud. The defenses are sharp. They are looking at you like you are the villain walking into their story. And sometimes, with time, something shifts. They begin to see your consistency. They begin to see that you are not there to hurt them. And they begin to see that maybe you're not looking down on them. And they begin to see that your confidence is not arrogance. It's steadiness. It's respect. It's reliability. It's showing up the same way over and over until their nervous system finally says, hey, maybe this person is not here to destroy me. And that is why they start having confidence in you. That matters too. Because confidence, it's not always instant. Sometimes confidence takes time. Sometimes confidence, just like trust, takes time. Sometimes people need repeated evidence before they believe that you are safe. And honestly, we are all the same with ourselves. Sometimes we need repeated evidence before we trust our own self again, especially after we've been through hell and back. Because another thing people do not talk about enough is how you can be confident in who you are before life breaks something open. You can know yourself. You can feel sure. Oh, you can feel strong. You can feel like, I know who I am. I know what I can do. I know how to handle things. And then life changes. Trauma hits. A relationship changes you. A loss changes you. Motherhood changes you. A job changes you. A betrayal changes you. A season of survival changes you. A spiritual awakening changes you. A new calling stretches you. And suddenly you're standing there like, wait, who am I now? And that is a real thing. Sometimes confidence disappears, not because you were weak, but because the old version of you does not fit anymore. And the new version hasn't quite fully arrived yet. You are in between skins. You are molting emotionally like some exhausted little spiritual lizard. And nobody tells you how awkward that feels. You can be confident in one season and completely unsure in another. And you can be strong in crisis, but insecure in creativity. And you can be bold when protecting someone else, but terrified when showing your own heart. You can walk into chaos like a warrior, but hesitate to post a video, sing a song, start something new, or admit what you really want. Because confidence is not one blanket thing. Confidence has rooms. You can have confidence in survival, but not in being seen. You can have confidence in helping others, but maybe not always in receiving help. You can have confidence in crisis, but not in peace. You can have confidence in your instincts, but struggle with your voice. And that does not mean you're a fake. It means you're human. It means different parts of you are healing at different speeds. And sometimes when we're learning something new, we lose that old sense of mastery. That's hard for people who are used to always feeling capable. It's humbling to go from, I know how to do this, to, wait, I'm learning again. And this is where numerology comes into, because this has a very 5 feeling to it. When we start something new, we are at 1. 1 is the beginning, the spark, the first step, the little baby seed of, okay, maybe I can do this. Then we move into 2, and suddenly, we're up a step. We're up a notch. We are not brand new anymore. We have a little more rhythm, a little more understanding, a little more evidence that we are not completely out here looking like a confused little raccoon. Then we get to 3 and we start creating with it, adding to it. By 4, we're already building some structure. Think of table with 4 legs. But oh my gosh, that 5. That 5 is where things get uncomfortable, because 5 is halfway. And when you think halfway would feel exciting, right? You think like, oh, look at me now. I ain't at the beginning anymore. I made it this far. And yeah, that's true. By the time you reach 5, you are so much further than 1, 2, 3, and 4. You've already started. You've already learned. You're already grown. Got that energy. You've already survived that awkward beginning. And you've already done more than the version of you who still was just standing at the starting line, just thinking about it. But that 5, it has that rude little habit of showing you how much further you still have to go. Because if 10 is the place that we imagine as mastery, completion, confidence, the full version, the point where we feel like, yeah, this is where I wanted to be. Yeah. 5 is the middle. 5 is where you look forward and realize, oh my gosh, I am halfway there, but I am also only halfway there. That can shake your confidence. But at 5, you know enough to see what you do not know. That's the part. At 5, you're no longer innocent like the 1. At 5, you can't pretend that you're brand new and clueless, but you cannot pretend that you're at full mastery yet either, because you aren't. At 5, you start noticing the gap where you are and where you want to be. That gap between the sound in your head and the sound coming out of your mouth. The gap between the vision in your spirit and the version that you can actually create right now. That gap between your dream and your current skill set. And that gap, oh gosh, it can humble you so fast. That's where a lot of people lose confidence. Not because they're failing, but because they're finally far enough along to realize that mastery is bigger than they thought. That's the 5. It's the middle way. It's the uncomfortable checkpoint. It's the place where you say, hey, wait a minute. I thought I was further along than this. Dang. It's where you realize, I'm better than I was, but dang, I'm not where I want to be yet. And that, it can either make you quit or grow. Are you at 5 right now somewhere in your life? Don't quit. 5 is not punishment. 5 is awareness. 5 is movement. 5 is friction. 5 is change. 5 is the part of the journey where your confidence has to mature. At 1, confidence can be excitement. 2, confidence can be encouragement. 3, confidence can be creativity. 4, confidence can be structure. But at 5, confidence has to become resilience. At 5, confidence says, I am halfway there, and that still counts. I am not at 10 yet, but I'm not at 1 anymore either. I can see how far I have to go, but I can also honor how far I've come. Because that's what we forget. We get so focused on the 10 that we disrespect the 5. We get so focused on what we have not mastered yet that we forget how much courage it took to even get to that middle point. And baby, that middle is not failure. Middle is proof. The middle means you did not quit at the beginning. The middle means you have enough experience now to know that this matters. The middle means your eyes are opening. And sometimes it feels uncomfortable because you realize, wow, I am not as good as I thought I was. But that doesn't mean you're bad. It means your vision is growing. It means your ear is sharper. It means your spirit is maturing and your standards are rising. It means you're beginning to see the next mountain. And seeing the mountain does not mean that you are not climbing. It means you've climbed high enough to see more of the path. That's important because a lot of people stop at 5. They really do. They get halfway there, see the distance between 5 and 10, and say, forget it. I thought I'd be better by now. But confidence is no. No, we are not quitting in the middle just because the middle is honest. We're not going back to 1 just because 5 made us uncomfortable. And we are not abandoning the gift because mastery takes longer than our ego wanted it to take. We are not throwing the whole microphone away because we heard one note that we did not like. We are not deleting the whole video because we saw one flaw. And we are not quitting the dream because the halfway point humbled us. 5 is not here to embarrass you. It's here to strengthen you. It's here to teach flexible confidence, not fake confidence, not beginner excitement, not perfectionist pressure, real confidence. The kind that can say, I'm learning. I'm improving. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable. I'm halfway, but I'm still going. And that's sacred. Nobody likes being the beginner after being the strong one. And nobody likes needing help after being the helper. Nobody likes feeling shaky after being the person everyone else leaned on. But that is part of confidence too. Real confidence is not just being good at what you already know. Real confidence is being brave enough to be a beginner again. Take a step back, learn differently, admit, hey, I don't know this yet. Say, hey, I'm rebuilding. To say, I am not who I was, but I'm not lost forever. And yeah, that confidence comes in waves. Some days you feel like yourself again. Some days you feel like you could conquer the world. Organize the closet, heal your bloodline, and still make dinner before a 6 o'clock bath and 7 o'clock bedtime. And other days you feel like confidence packed a freaking suitcase and moved to a secret location without leaving a forwarding address. That doesn't mean you failed. That means healing is not a straight line. And confidence returns in layers. It comes back through practice, and it comes back through safety. It comes through self-trust. It comes back through showing up. it comes back through realizing I have survived before and I am learning how to live now. Because survival confidence and living confidence, they're not always the same thing. Survival confidence says, I can get through this. And living confidence says, you know what? I'm allowed to enjoy this. Living confidence says, I can handle peace. Survival confidence says, I can protect everybody. Living confidence says, I can let myself be seen too. And that is where the heart is asking us to grow. Not just be confident because we survive chaos, but to become confident enough to live after chaos. Confident enough to create. Confident enough to sing. Confident enough to rest. Confident enough to stop being the savior every 5 minutes. Confidence enough to let people learn their own lessons. Confident enough to say, I can care without caring everything. Because confidence is not always stepping in to save everyone. Sometimes confidence is knowing when not to. Sometimes confidence is trusting that you are not responsible for holding the whole world together with duct tape, prayer, and one tired bra strap. Sometimes confidence is no longer proving your strength by how much you can carry. Sometimes confidence is finally saying, I know I'm strong, but I'm allowed to be soft. I'm allowed to rebuild. I'm allowed to learn. I'm allowed to be trusted slowly. I'm allowed to trust myself too. And let's be honest, there are people in this world who do not like when you find your confidence. And I think my baby's grandson just woke up, so I'm gonna have to finish this in a minute. So I need to remember where I'm at, okay? Oh no. They were perfectly comfortable when you were unsure of yourself. They liked you better when you were shrinking. They liked you better when you asked permission to exist. They liked you better when your voice was soft enough not to interrupt their control. But the minute you start standing up straighter, speaking clearer, taking up space, setting boundaries, wearing the outfit, posting the video, saying no, saying yes, saying actually I deserve better, suddenly they come with their little pocket-sized accusations. You've changed. Yeah, thank God. That's the point. You think you're better than everybody. No, sweetheart, no. I just stopped thinking I was beneath everybody. There's a difference. Now let's talk about it. Because people love to confuse confidence with arrogance when they are uncomfortable with your growth. Arrogance says, I'm better than you. Confidence says, I'm not less than you. That's the difference. Arrogance needs an audience, and confidence can sit alone in a room and still know its worth. Arrogance brags because it's empty inside. Confidence does not have to scream because it's rooted. And arrogance, it steps on people to feel tall. And confidence stands tall without making anyone else feel small. And a lot of people do not know the difference because they have only been comfortable around insecurity. Whew. That one might need a seatbelt, because when you have spent years being the peacemaker, the helper, the fixer, the one who understands everybody, the one who gives grace, the one who stays quiet, doesn't want nobody to feel uncomfortable, people can mistake your softness for weakness, call you a pushover. Then one day you finally say, no. And everybody acts like you flipped a table in the temple. No, I did not flip a table. I just stopped serving. dinner on it. Confidence is not cruelty. Confidence is not pride. Confidence is not walking around like you're the main character and everyone else is background furniture from Big Lots. Confidence is finally realizing that God did not create you to be an emotional throw rug at the door of other people's dysfunction. You're allowed to have a backbone. You are allowed to have standards. You are allowed to say, hey, that doesn't work for me. Sorry. You don't even have to say sorry. You're allowed to stop apologizing for the gifts God gave you just because someone else feels threatened by them. Because that's another thing. Some people, they will not attack your weakness. They will attack your strength. They will come for the very thing they secretly wish they had. Your courage, your voice, your humor, your insight, your creativity, your way of walking through fire and making jokes like, well, at least we're warm. And that's why confidence matters. Confidence gets you to the finish line when motivation clocks out early. Confidence says, I am tired, but I'm not done. And confidence says, I know they misunderstood me, but I know my heart. That happens to me a lot. Confidence says, I know I've been knocked down, but I'm not building a house on the floor. Now let's go even deeper, because sometimes the people trying to steal our confidence are not outside of us. Sometimes it's us. Sometimes it's that perfectionist part of us that thinks, hey, if we can't do something perfectly, maybe we shouldn't do it at all. And baby, perfectionists, perfectionism, it will rob you. It'll rob that smile off your face. I'm serious. It will dress itself up like high standards, but underneath it, sometimes it's fear. Wearing those damn church shoes I'm always talking about. It says, no, I shouldn't post that. It's not perfect. Oh man, one of my scenes repeated itself when I put them all together because I can't keep recording long. I have to do it in parts, and then when I put it, sometimes they relap and I'm just like, or it says, don't sing unless you sound amazing. Don't start unless you know exactly how it's going to end. Don't try unless you know you'll win. Don't let them see you learning. And that right there is where confidence starts getting strangled. Because perfectionism, it makes joy feel like a performance review. And I know this personally, especially with singing. I have to be honest, one of my weakest spots, confidence-wise, has always been my singing. And it's funny because I love to sing. I mean, I've always loved to sing since I was very little. And when I was younger, I had a lot more practice and training. My Uncle Andy and I, we would sing at different venues. And he had his recording studio. So I was around music a lot. And I was around sound. And I was around the whole process of it. And when you are around that, you hear everything. You hear when the tone is a little off. You hear when your voice is not as flexible. You hear when you are trying to hit something and your voice is, girl, not tonight. I clocked out. You hear when maybe you drank a little too much alcohol that night and now your vocal cords are in the corner holding a tiny protest sign. You hear the imperfections. And for a long time, I feel like if I did not sound perfect, I didn't want to sing. Because there are people in the world with very strong voices. There are people who can open their mouth And it sounds like angels filed a formal report. There are people whose voices are trained, warmed up, ready, flexible, powerful, and controlled. And the voice, it really is a muscle. When it is trained, when it's warmed up, when it's cared for, when it's used consistently, it responds differently. But when it's not, oh, they'll humble you real quick. And I could hear that in myself. I could hear when my voice was not perfect. I could hear when it did not do what I wanted it to do. And because I loved singing so much, I put even more pressure on it. And that's what we do, isn't it? The things we love the most are the things we punish ourselves over. We want to be the best at what we love. We want to be excellent. We want to be gifted. We want to feel like we're not just doing it, but doing it well. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to grow. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be better. There's nothing wrong with training, practicing, learning, respecting the craft. But when the perfection becomes the price of participation, we lose the joy. That's not confidence. That's fear in a sequenced jacket. As I got older, I started realizing something so freeing. Singing's fun. Singing is expression. Singing is feeling leaving the body with melody on it. And it's not always about sounding perfect. It's not always acting like I think I am the ultimate star. It's not about competing with every powerhouse voice in the room. It's not about walking into karaoke night like I'm about to accept a Grammy and thank the Academy. Sometimes it's just about putting the feeling out there. It's about knowing I love it. Oh, I love to sing. No matter who sounds better than me. No matter who has more range. No matter who has more control. No matter who can hit the notes the neighborhood dogs started holding prayer circles over. I still love it. And something beautiful happened when I stopped putting that impossible pressure on myself. My confidence actually went up. Not because I suddenly became perfect, but because I stopped requiring perfection before I allowed myself to participate. That's a whole world. And sometimes confidence grows when we stop trying to be flawless and start letting ourselves be human. Because confidence is not always, I'm the best. Confidence is, I'm allowed to enjoy this. Confidence is, I'm allowed to keep learning. I'm allowed to love something, even if I'm not the strongest person in the room at it. And that's where real freedom starts. Because comparison will make you hate what you love. Comparison will walk into your joy with muddy boots and start rearranging the furniture. It will make you look at someone else's gift and suddenly your own gift feels smaller. It will make you forget that we're not created to be a copy of them. We are created to bring our own sound, our own texture, our own story, our own soul, our own weird little seasoning that nobody else has in their cabinet. And that is why we have to stop looking at everything like competition, especially the things we love. Because yeah, there will always be someone who sings better, no doubt, writes better, makes better videos, dances better, speaks better, creates better, looks more polished, sounds more trained, has more lighting, better timing, better lashes, better ring light angles, better... I woke up like this energy, even though we know good and well they did not wake up like that. But if we spend our whole lives staring at other people's lanes, we're going to crash our own car. Confidence says, I can appreciate their gift without abandoning mine. That's maturity. That's healing. That's grown woman confidence. And there's another piece to this too. Sometimes when you hang around people who are extremely talented, extremely gifted, extremely good at what they do, it can make you feel like less amazing at first. Let's just be honest. You get around someone who's operating in their gift with ease, and suddenly your inner critic pulls out a lawn chair. Like, oh wow, like, so we're mediocre now. No, sit down. Because being around talented people, that's not punishment. That's a gift. It's a classroom. It's an upgrade. It's an iron sharpening tool. Sometimes God will put you around people who are amazing, not to make you feel small, but to stretch what you thought was possible, to show you another level, to let you learn by watching, to let you absorb excellence, to let you see technique, discipline, courage, creativity, confidence, and craft up close. And if you can stay humble without shrinking, oh, you will grow. That's the key. Humble does not mean inferior. Inspired does not mean inferior. Learning from someone does not mean you are beneath them. It means you are wise enough to pay attention. And over time, being around people who are great at what they do can actually raise your confidence, because you start picking things up. You start noticing details. You start learning rhythm. You start learning timing. You start learning how they breathe, how they move, how they prepare, how they recover from mistakes and keep going. And then one day, something they modeled becomes something that you can do too. Not because you copied them, but because you allowed yourself to be sharpened. That's a beautiful thing. We need to stop being intimidated by gifted people and start being grateful when we're close enough to learn from them. Everybody is not competition. Some people are confirmation. Some people are teachers. Some people are mirrors. And some people are expanders. Sorry, I have the hiccups. Some people walk into you into your life and show you, see, more is possible. And yes, sometimes that can sting at first if your confidence is shaky. But if you let it mature you, instead of threaten you, it becomes a blessing. Because confidence does not mean you walk into every room thinking you are the most talented person there. Confidence, it means you can walk into a room of talented people and not disappear. You can admire someone else's light without turning yours off. And you can say, wow, she or he is amazing. Wow. Without secretly adding, and I'm nothing. No, not like that at all. Her or his amazingness does not cancel out your amazingness. Their gift does not erase your gift. And their excellence, it does not mean that you have no place. There's room. There's always room when the gift is real. Confidence, it's not always glamorous. Sometimes confidence looks like trying again after you looked really stupid the first time. And sometimes confidence looks like posting the video even though your voice was blah, 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 blah. Sometimes confidence looks like singing, even when you know the notes are not perfect. And sometimes confidence looks like laughing when your voice cracks instead of emotionally packing your bags and leaving the country. Sometimes confidence looks like walking into a room where you once felt small and realizing that you don't need anyone there to crown you. Sometimes confidence looks like finally telling yourself the truth. I'm allowed to be good at this. I'm allowed to grow. I am allowed to be seen. I'm allowed to take up space. I'm allowed to enjoy this even while I'm still improving. And I'm allowed to love something without being perfect at it. I'm allowed to believe in myself without waiting for someone else to clap first. Because let's be real, some people will not clap. Some people will sit there with their arms crossed, lips tight. Spirit bitter, acting like your confidence personally raised their electric bill. That's not your problem. You cannot make your light smaller just because someone else refuses to open their curtains. And confidence, it does not mean you do not care what people think. We're human. Of course we care sometimes. But we are not robots with lip gloss. But confidence means other people's opinions are not the final judge over your life. God gets the final word. Your healing gets a vote. Your wisdom gets a vote. Your experience gets a vote. And oh, by golly, your spirit gets a vote too. And that little sacred version of you who once begged for approval, she gets love, but does not get to run the whole board meeting anymore. Because healed confidence, it's not loud for attention. It's steady for direction. It says, I know who I'm becoming. I may not be fully there yet, but I'm not who I used to be. I have survived too freaking much to keep pretending that I am powerless. And here's the deeper part. Sometimes we lose confidence because life has trained us to doubt ourselves. Maybe people criticized us too much. Maybe someone made us feel like we're too much. Our voice is too much. We're just too much. Too emotional, too dramatic, too sensitive, too opinionated, too loud, too honest, too deep, too imperfect, too joyful, too passionate, too much. But sometimes too much is what people call you when they're only prepared for the smaller version of you. And baby, we are not doing travel size souls anymore. Full size, family size, Costco size, Holy Spirit bulk pack. Confidence, it's remembering that you are not here to be digestible for everyone. Some people will choke on your truth, because they've only been eating lies. That does not mean your truth is wrong. It means their spirit is not used to your nourishment. My cat is bothering me. Sorry. Get. Sorry, she's a little needy sometimes. So today, confidence walks in like a card with its shoulders back. Not arrogant. Here she comes again. Not mean. Not fake. Not pretending everything is perfect. Just rooted. Just awake. Just aware. Confidence, it says you do not need to become someone else to be powerful. You need to stop abandoning who you already are. And that is the medicine today. Because the finish line does not always belong to the most talented person. Sometimes the finish line belongs to the person who had kept going after the embarrassment. The person who kept going after rejection. The person who kept going after people laughed. The person who kept going after the note cracked. The person who kept going after the video flopped. And the person who kept going after nobody understood. The person who kept going after confidence disappeared and all they had left was faith, stubbornness, and a tiny crumb of audacity in the bottom of their purse. That's been me. That counts. That matters. That is sacred. So today, if you feel confident, use it wisely. Do not waste your time trying to prove yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Walk in it. Create with it. Speak from it. Move from it. Let it carry you closer to the life God has been nudging you toward. And if today you don't feel confident, don't shame yourself. Do not bully yourself into bravery. Just take the next honest step. Confidence is built by evidence. Every time that you keep a promise to yourself, you built it. Every time you survive something hard, you built it. And every time you speak up, even a little, you built it. Every time you choose yourself without being cruel to someone else, you build it. Every time you do the imperfect and realize that the world did not end, you build it. Every time you sing because you love singing, not because you're trying to win the invisible competition in your head, you build it. Every time that you let someone else's greatness inspire you instead of intimidate you, you build it. And every time that you allow trust to build slowly instead of demanding instant certainty, you build it. Every time you let yourself be a beginner again, you build it. Every time that you admit that you are building without shaming yourself for needing time, you build it. Every time you stayed at the 5 and chose not to quit, just because the 10 felt so freaking far away. You built it. Every time you say, I'm scared, but I'm still going to show up, you build it. Brick by brick. Prayer by prayer. Boundary by boundary. Video by video. Song by song. Healing by healing. And truth by truth. And one day you look around and you realize, hey, wait a minute. I'm not pretending anymore. I actually trust myself now. And that right there is not arrogance. That is resurrection. So, confidence is not thinking that you're better than everyone else. Confidence is finally knowing you do not have to be less than who God made you to be just to make other people comfortable. Confidence is not perfection. Confidence is not participation. Confidence is not never messing up. Confidence is no longer letting the fear of messing up keep you silent. Confidence is not always being the savior. Sometimes confidence is knowing you do not have to save everybody to prove you are strong. Confidence is not always surviving chaos. Sometimes confidence is learning how to live after chaos. Confidence is not reaching the 10 overnight. Sometimes confidence is standing at the 5, uncomfortable, humbled, and still choosing to keep going. So stand up. Fix your crown. Warm up your voice. Adjust your bra strap. Reheat your coffee and walk forward like the woman who has been through too much, or the man that has been through too much to keep asking permission to shine. Because some people will call it arrogance. They will. Let them. They called confidence arrogance because they benefited from your insecurity. And that perfectionist voice in your head, thank it for trying to protect you. Then tell it, skedaddle. We are not waiting until we are perfect to live. We are not waiting until every note is flawless to sing. And we're not waiting until every person approves to show up. We are not waiting until every person, every part of us feels like, am I fully built yet? I can't go to the next step. No, we're not waiting for that. We're not. Oh God, I gotta sneeze. I'm so sorry. Okay, sorry. We are not quitting at the 5 just because the 10 still has a lot of work attached to it. God did not bring you this far for you to whisper your way through the next chapter. Today, the state of the heart, it's telling you, believe in yourself again. Not because life is easy, not because you are perfect, not because nobody else is better at certain things, not because you have every answer, but because your gift still deserves air. Your joy still deserves a voice. And your healing, it still deserves patience. Your strength deserves softness. And your halfway point, it still counts. And you are not as weak as the world, your past, or your own critic tries to convince you that you were or are.